Are fans or the general audience not excited for Superman anymore? And is Tom willing to put the suit on again? Hey, welcome back to Ping Pong Flix. My name is Chris Wong. Let's talk about Superman. A few days ago on YouTube, I found this on Screen Rant's channel. This was a community post. They posted a picture of 3 different Superman and said this: "We agree to these terms. Okay, but now I want a No Way Home style movie with these 3. Now, obviously, the connection No Way Home is because Spider-Man No Way Home had 3 Spider-Mans in it. Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and Tom Holland was in Spider-Man No Way Home. What a crazy, incredible, nostalgia-fueled, and epic good time that movie was. In fact, it did legit box office numbers, broke records, and, they're even trying to get it into the Oscars. So it really doesn't come as a surprise that someone would actually try to do a No Way Home before DC. And in this case, Superman. But when I saw this post from Screen Rant and this picture that they had, honestly, for me, I would put Henry Cavill in the middle. But that's just me. That's interesting. I don't know what to think about that. So I'm going to post it on Twitter just to see if any of my followers would have a say in this. And a say they did. Oh my God. This might be my most engaged post I've ever done on Twitter as of this video. There's over 3,800 likes, 4,600 quote tweets, 640 comments, 20 million impressions. So at this point in time, I knew this tweet probably went farther past the fandom bubble that I'm in into the general audience. And I thought, that's interesting. I want to know what they think, because we're always in this Superman DC bubble. And I'm like, always wonder what other people think about Superman. And it's very negative. I'm kind of in shock at the negativity towards this Screen Rant post. For instance, this person says this is going to be the first movie in history to sell no tickets. This SHIT can go on 1, 2, 3 movies right away and still get 0 views. Ain't nobody watching this LMFAO. Wow. Has Superman gone this far that nobody cares about Superman? And there is a lot of different quote tweets and comments saying that Superman is boring. A lot of people didn't even know the other 2 Superman. At least they knew who Henry Cavill was, but they're like, who are these other 2? There were a few that were really excited for this and would want to see this, but they were so little. They were like the minority. Yeah, we got 3,800 likes, but there was a lot of comments and quote tweets that kind of, ratioed the likes to that. So it was an interesting thing. What I just posted just to post it was very curious. I didn't know that this was to become a kind of an experiment to see how many people actually like Superman, which Superman, and what they thought about Superman. And in general, I got the idea, the feeling that a lot of these general audiences didn't like Superman. They thought it was boring. They're done with Superman. And that to me is extraordinarily disheartening. As you can see, I'm a Superman fan. I'm a huge Superman fan ever since Christopher Reeve. That's who I grew up with. And I've always been a Superman fan ever since. Whether it be Christopher Reeve, I even watched the old George Reeves. It could be Dean Cain. It could be the Superboys. It could be Tom Welling. Or it could be either Brandon Routh, Tyler Hoechlin, and of course, my favorite right now, Henry Cavill. Because I generally just love Superman in general, even the animated ones and the ones in the comics. So there's so many different variables on this that I'm like really boggled over because of the general reaction to this post. For one thing, a lot of people said, hey, why would you need 3 Supermans in a movie? Like, what could they possibly go against that would need 3 Supermans? Well, they kind of did that in the comments just to put it out there, Superman Prime, and they really needed like a lot of different super people to take him down. That could be one thing, but I'm just putting out there that there is reasons in the comics that could utilize 3 Superman. In general, the idea of it being boring is just, I really can't. What's even interesting that even George Miller, who was going to direct Justice League Immortal, actually talked about Superman being boring. This is coming from IGN.
One has different takes on Superman. Grant Morrison depicts him as this kind of scientist explorer. He's also been an alien and immigrant. I was wondering, what's your take on that character, considering you were close to directing the movie with him in it?
He's potentially a very boring character because he has no fault. So you have to really got to find whatever his demons really to get an internal conflict going. Somehow you've got to do that. And whether that's by an external agency or something deep inside of himself, you need that conflicted character, and that's what made the Greek gods so great. I mean, they were somewhere close. They were jealous. They were vengeful. They were hubristic. They had all these things going for them, and I think that's why Batman's such an interesting character, because he's human, and he's just like us. So he's much more relatable in someone who's just perfect.
Honestly, I don't agree. I think there's so many different ways that Superman can be conflicted. In fact, the whole Man of Steel was him being conflicted. But you know what? Who's the best person to talk about this was the ex-Warner Brothers CEO, Craig Silverman, who was attached to Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. This is what he said today. Superman is not boring. He was conceived by immigrants desperate to fit in. He's insecure like they were, desperate to be good enough to fit in, to be worthy of love. He's torn between two worlds, two fathers. I think Zack and Henry captured all of this beautifully in Man of Steel. And I have to agree with him. That's one of the beauties of Man of Steel. It showed a conflicted Superman, someone that a lot of people really care for. And the box office kind of shows. Comparable from Superman Returns to Man of Steel, it looks like the general audiences, the one who are not in our bubbles, are actually more liking Henry Cavill. And as I've seen from the comments from that, a lot of people didn't even know the other two, but they do recognize Henry Cavill. And I don't know, this just seems to show the problem with the Superman brand right now. Challenge that character like how Zack Snyder has challenged that character not once, not twice, but 3 times. Then a lot of people would connect to him better than the Christopher Reeve-esque Superman for today. It worked back then, but maybe it's not working now. Even though, in my opinion, I love all of them, I love what they all represent, but I'm not everybody. So I guess having a multiverse idea of having all these different Superman would work, because you get a different Superman for a different flavor of audience. That this audience doesn't seem to want Superman too much right now. But another quote tweet I saw was that Tom Welling was missing from this. And I gotta say, Tom Welling hasn't really wanted to be in the suit. Like, he signed contracts to say that he's not gonna be in the suit and he's not gonna fly. But that was then. Apparently now, in the recent interview with Michael Rosenbaum, Tom Welling kinda lightened up to the idea of being in the suit. This is what he said.
When Smallville ended, I was very anti playing Superman, but now as I get older, I'm like, oh, maybe, I mean, yes, I think it would be fun. And I think I would like to think that I could add an element that maybe hasn't been there for a while, as far as like, maybe Superman's not so detached. Maybe he's not such an alien. Maybe he's more, maybe there's an element of, you know, my favorite scene is when Superman goes into the cafe, doesn't have his powers, he gets beat up, then he comes back with his powers. And how he deals with that.
Right.
I think that element may need to come back in a little bit, and it'd be fun. And
which is great to hear that at his age, he's actually open to being in the suit one day. And with the multiverse idea, like these 3, adding another one would be kind of cool. It would have to be a huge cataclysmic event, like a Superboy Prime that would come in and they would all have to stop him. But definitely there is a possibility. Tom Welling himself even realizes that with the multiverse idea, not only in television, but now going to films, this could happen one day.
Well, there's also this thing that they're doing, that they started doing in television, these multiverse things, which now the films are embracing. And so you could have 5 different guys playing Superman in the same movie. I think the Batman movie's coming out. There's like, there's a couple of there's people coming back from the old films and whatnot. I think the television always wants film people involved. I think film is slowly allowing television people in. There's still even though viewership, I don't think cares, because they don't care if you're in a movie or on television. They're watching on their iPads anyway. Right. You know what I mean? Like, they don't care. But I think that there's, I think it'd be cool.
So I already put this idea out there. I don't know what everybody else thinks. I'm really curious to see what YouTube thinks. Let me know down in the comments down below. What do you think of this post from Screen Rant? Do you like the idea of having a multiverse of Superman in the same movie? How about Tom Welling willing to come back as Superman full on in the suit? I really hope one day a lot more people will be happy to see Superman on screen once again.